Hey guys, so this is the first episode to a new series that I am starting. Essentially, I am just going to be posting a new video every week with specific plant care for a new plant every week. So I'll be covering water, soil, sun requirements, as well as any other little tidbits of information that I think is beneficial to know about that plant. I can't decide what to call the series yet. I actually put a poll on, or I asked a question on my Instagram stories. My Instagram is Planty. I'll put it right here. Asking if anyone had any ideas, and I got some good ideas, and I know I can't decide. So maybe comment which one you think I should go for. So now that we have all that out of the way, we're gonna actually get into the plant of the week. And the plant of the week is right next to me. It is the Philodendron Rojo Congo, or Philodendron Rojo Congo, however you want to say it. It was created from the cultivar Imperial Red, so the Philodendron Imperial Red, crossed with the Philodendron I'm gonna put the name right here, but it's something among what I said. Every new leaf is going to come in as this really pretty dark burgundy color, and the stems itself are reddish burgundy, and then over time these new leaves will fade to green, and then they'll eventually reach a dark green color. You do not need to stake these plants. I mean, they're pretty well known for growing upright and being pretty strong, but it's never going to hurt to stake almost any philodendrons. It's just gonna promote more full foliage, bigger leaves, and a stronger stem overall. So as I mentioned, you do not need to stake it, but they do grow pretty quickly. This plant is constantly giving new growth. As you can see, we have a new leaf coming in right here, unfurling, followed by this leaf that's already forming. Now for sunlight, they definitely benefit most from bright and direct. You can get away with low to medium. They'll tolerate it. Low, in my opinion, is kind of pushing it. If you really, really want one of these plants and you cannot provide bright and direct, and you can only do low to medium, you can totally still have this plant, but the leaves might not get as, well, they likely won't get as large, or the growth won't be as fast, but it can definitely still live as long as it's getting some sort of light. Even indoor lighting would definitely help. I know tons of people who keep philodendrons in a room with little to no natural light, but they have some sort of course, a grow light will help, or they keep them in offices, and artificial lights definitely still sustain the life of the plant. Now for soil, these guys do originate from South America, so a well-draining soil will be very beneficial. If you want something just quick and very accessible, you could pick up peat moss. A cacti mix is very common. Any of those, something along those lines. And I would recommend just grabbing another bag of perlite, mixing that in to really ensure that you're getting the best draining that you can get with what you have at like your local Home Depot or Lowe's. Bark is always a great addition, as well as charcoal, worm castings. This plant will benefit from all of that. I think it goes without saying that drainage hole will be best, especially if you're a new plant parent. That really helps you see if you're watering thoroughly enough, and it will ensure if you don't have the best draining soil that it's kind of helping to balance that out. Speaking of watering, you could definitely kill it with over or under watering, just as you could with any plant, but I would say it's best to water when the first few inches is dry. So when I'm looking at my plant, I just do a finger check, and I mentioned this in my watering video if you want to go watch, but yeah, you just stick your finger in, wait for the first few inches to be dry, and that is when I know this plant is ready to water. This variety does not really like to be totally bone dry before being watered. So if the top few inches are dry, then you know the bottom might still be a little bit moist, which is what these like. And I'm no way saying to soak your plant. Definitely don't. If you're unsure if you should water, just wait maybe like another week and then water. Also, these are not cold tolerant plants, so I would not be leaving these in a cold garage. I wouldn't even be leaving these guys outside at night unless I lived somewhere like Florida. Then you could possibly get away from it. But even then, if you're going to be getting very low temperatures, you'd be pulling them inside for sure. Now, something I want to specifically mention in this video that I do not think gets talked about enough, and it's pretty common in most philodendrons and I believe alocasias as well. So we are talking about extra floral nectaries. Yeah, extra floral nectaries. It always takes me a minute to properly say that, but this is a substance that the philodendron is known to secrete in the wild. I mean, it secretes it in the house as well. And it does so to attract ants, and it's going to be sticky. It's usually in the form of droplets. It kind of looks like dew. And the ants in return come and burrow at the roots. They live on the plant itself, and they feed off of this substance that I believe is to be like a sugary substance for the ants. And in return, they kind of help to protect the plant. So they protect the plant from any other insects or whatever else would possibly come and eat at the plant, which would mean killing it. So it kind of becomes this symbiotic relationship, which I think is super cool. The substance is harmless. I wouldn't recommend trying it though. I don't know like if it would make you sick or something. So just, I don't know why you'd want to try it, but if you just touch it, it's not going to hurt you. But it can be mistaken for like residue left from pests. And sometimes the secretion of the substance kind of leaves a mark on the leaves, so almost like scarring, and that is what is commonly mistaken for bacteria or fungal issue. So I believe it starts to happen more and more as the plant matures, and you'll be able to tell because on new leaves, oftentimes there won't be any markings on it, and then over time they'll kind of, because those leaves start to secrete that substance, it'll kind of get those markings on it. At the end of the day, it's just displeasing to some to look at, like aesthetically, I guess, if you don't like your leaves to have any sort of markings on them. But I think it's pretty cool to know that an act that these plants do in the wild, they still continue to do in our homes. And besides it looking like cute little freckles on the leaves, it's so wild to know that they still continue to do it. I think it's super cool. Now, I'm pretty sure that covers the care for this guy. My goal for these videos is to keep them relatively short, straight to the point, and just give you the basic level of information that you need to ensure that you are properly caring for this plant to the best of your ability to ensure you're not killing it. I tend to ramble a little bit, so I'm working on that. Yeah, so I hoped this helped someone, or maybe you learned something you didn't know about this plant. Maybe you already own this plant. Maybe after this video, you're gonna go out and buy one of these, because 10 out of 10 recommend. Well, that concludes the first plant of the week, leaf of the week. I don't know. I still don't know which one I like. Again, let me know which one you guys like from the few that I listed in the beginning. So thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you in my next video.